And with that, let's bring in the panel. Fox News contributors Leslie Marshall and Jason Chaffetz. We will get to Tulsi Gabbard in moments. Thank you both for coming on. But I want to begin with President Biden's comments tonight, and you, Jason, because despite, as Kevin was saying, you've got banks, you've got major financial institutions, and a lot of analysts saying the recession is definitely coming. And President Biden said this, watch. Not going to be a recession. If there is, it'll be slight, Jason. Come on, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, come on. I wish it was true. But look, nothing that Joe Biden has told us about the economy or how it works has been true in the nearly 2 years of his administration. I mean, he was bragging today about the Inflation Reduction Act. Well, how did that go? Inflation went up. It didn't go down. He spent trillions of dollars, set aside over $300 billion for his green wokeness, and did not address the fundamentals in energy and all these other drivers of the economy. The very fact that our federal government spends about 25 cents out of every dollar that's spent in this country is a result of massive Democratic spending. That's why you have inflation. That's why the energy is out of control, and why Joe Biden continues to fumble along and be wrong. Nobody believes him at this point.
But if you talk to the president and you listen to him, apparently he's killing it. Listen to this, Leslie, and I'll get your response. I think he left out a few things there, Leslie. Your thoughts?
He actually has kept so far most of his campaign promises, and that is what people elected him to do, various pieces of legislation. To Jason's point, I think it's funny because a lot of the legislation that's been passed, infrastructure and some other pieces of legislation out of D.C. have been bipartisan. So that would mean that Republicans are really trying to screw the American people with more spending. And if you look at the spending that wasn't bipartisan, when you look at Democrats' legislation that's been passed, top economists have said you're talking about 1.2, 1.3% affecting inflation. We all know the Fed's and the Fed's decisions certainly indirectly affect inflation more so than congressional legislation.
It's up 8.3%. We move on now. Tulsi Gabbard says the Democrats no longer speak about what's right. Listen to her and we'll get your response. Yeah, she not only walked away, Leslie, from your party, she stormed away and she had some choice words as she walked.
I'm not trying to be snarky, but when you hear that, if you didn't know who she was talking about, I would have thought she was talking about Republicans that won't say what they say out loud, what they say behind closed doors about Donald Trump.
Oh, she's talking about Democrats.
Tulsi Gabbard. I know she is. Trace, I have not considered Tulsi Gabbard a Democrat for a very long time, nor have many people in my party. And the fact that both Democrats and Republicans are kind of like...
She was the pride of the party 5 or 6 years ago.
No, she wasn't. Trace, if she was the pride... She wasn't the pride of the party. If she was the pride of the party...
We could play the videotape of her and every analyst on CNN, and you name the channel, the pride of the party. They were saying she's the next president. I mean, they could not have talked her up anymore just
if you're talking about if you're talking about they, Trace, well, let's talk about they, the Democratic voter, because she had such a low percentage of Democrats supporting her that it was laughable when for her to even become the Democratic nominee for president in my party, in the Democratic Party. So I have seen her speak out against Democrats for a very long time, in which she talks about warmongering. That legislation to help Ukraine was also bipartisan.
Yeah, I got to get you in here, Jason. Go ahead.
Look, it's for the Democrats to lose a strong voice like Tulsi Gabbard is a real loss. I think she speaks for a lot of people. I disagree with her on a lot of issues, but, her service in the military, her representation in Congress, she was a very powerful voice, and the Democrats are far worse without her than they are better with it. It would have been much better to have her in the tent. She's not there anymore.
Listen, I got to go, but I want to put these up because they're so important. These are the Fox Power Rankings. If I can go through them, I just want to kind of give the audience a lay of the land. Here we go. This is kind of where we sit, right? You look at this. This is the Senate, and right now the Fox Power Rankings have it. Republicans 49, Democrats 47. This thing is going to be close. You go race by race, and in Pennsylvania, it's now a toss-up there, right? You move on to Ohio, and you have lean Republican J.D. Vance with a little bit of an advantage. And in Arizona, the power rankings are now a toss-up, kind of on the heels, right? On the heels of that debate, which didn't go well. Leslie, Jason, great to see you both. Thank you.
Thank you.